morning, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Spark session. My name is Emily Goodknecht, and I am a Superstar Director based out of Southeastern Ontario. Please feel free, if you're tuning in live, to drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know what corners of the earth we are reaching tonight. We do have a bit of a small group right now, but that doesn't mean it won't grow. And obviously, if you're tuning in maybe afterwards and you're watching the replay, thanks for coming back and joining us. So just to say a couple words, for those of you who are on live, I wanted to ask really quick, who here by a show of hands is already familiar with our Scentsy Club program? Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to just briefly explain what the program is. I'm not going to go into a big in-depth explanation just because that'll eat up a lot of the time meant to really hone in and talk about how you can use the program this summer, which is what my topic's about. So if you'd like to learn more about the program itself, I do encourage you to look back through some previous trainings in the Skills Studio. You can look up some things on YouTube, or you can even go to your own PWS if you have one, and you can learn more about the program that way. But just to give you a little bit of an idea about what the program is, Scentsy Club, this is what's need to know right now. So Scentsy Club is a customer-facing program. It is designed to encourage customers and consultants too to purchase their favorite Scentsy products, mostly consumables, on a recurring basis. So this would be perfect for someone who's like a set it and forget it. Maybe they, if you're someone or you have customers that already have subscriptions, think like Ipsy or, like snack boxes, things of that nature. This is a way that your customers can get their favorite products on a recurring schedule, lock in some discounts, and really take advantage of what Scentsy has to offer. I like to think of it as the next best thing to hosting, but we'll get into that a little bit later. The second thing that you need to know about Scentsy Club is that in order to participate in the Scentsy Club program, you are required to have an active PWS, an active personal website. So if you do not currently have one, you absolutely can activate that. You would just log into your workstation, go to your account area, scroll down until you see, activate website. There is a monthly fee for that. Unless you're a brand new consultant and you're within your first 90 days, you do have that absolutely free of charge for the first 90 days. So after that, I believe it's $15 in the US. I'm in Canada, it's $18 Canadian. But depending on where you are, that price will be different if you're in region 2 or region 3. And then the last thing is for consultants, they can also utilize this program. So all of you watching this, you guys can absolutely participate in Scentsy Club as well as a consultant. The information is just, the rewards in terms of earning points is just a little bit different. If you are a consultant, which you all are obviously, you don't earn points towards discounted product or points that then get taken off your club. But the reason for that is because you're earning commission. You're earning money off of every club subscription that you have. So that's sort of the caveat, but way better for us because we're making money off of all those subscriptions. So just to dive right in. So by a show of hands, how many of you have your own Scentsy Club subscription of the ones on video that I can see? You can also feel free to use the chat. Okay, we have 2. All right, so okay, couple. All right, that's good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to make Scentsy Club successful this summer. Again, and if you have questions, don't hesitate to utilize the chat. I will absolutely answer them as they come in. And this is interactive, so I would love to hear from you if you have something you'd like to share or you have a question, so don't hesitate to do that. So the first thing that I want to make a note of is we know that summer is busy for most folks, and they're either visiting family or they're away on vacation. They might have a lot of extracurriculars planned that take them away, or they're just otherwise unavailable for regular business. So Scentsy Club's a great way to make sure that we're getting that recurring PRV throughout the summer without having to really worry about where am I going to get my next party? How am I going to make sure that I can connect with my customers to make sure that I'm reaching my, my minimum goal, whatever your goal is, whether that's to get active or to do 500 PRV or to hit, 2000 PRV if you're going for that monthly sales award. So the important thing when it comes to Scentsy Club is that we have to help customers see the value of Club. And the way we do that is by highlighting the perks. And so the first thing I want to note is that Scentsy Club is absolutely free to join. Unlike Costco or Amazon, where yes, there are a lot of rewards and perks for having those programs, there is a barrier to entry. You have to pay money to start being part of the program, essentially. Even if you don't buy anything on Amazon, just to use their streaming platforms, to participate using like Amazon Music or watch movies, you have to pay, like $10 a month. With Scentsy Club, completely free. You can join Club. You only pay for the products that you put inside of the program. So that's unique. And so anyone who wants to, take advantage, they can use that. The big thing is that next to hosting parties, Scentsy Club is really the best way for customers to get products because inside of every club subscription, there's the ability to get a built-in discount off of products, which otherwise they wouldn't get if they were purchasing retail. And if they were hosting a party, they'd have to have a certain number of sales, right, as a host in order to unlock rewards. And not that I'm saying definitely don't try to book parties. You absolutely should. But if a host is away for the summer or is busy otherwise and they can't commit to a party right now, you can absolutely promote Scentsy Club as a way for them to get products that they love and use all the time at a discount, without feeling like, you're really offering them a service without feeling like, you're what's the term I'm looking for? I don't want to say burden. That's not what I mean. But, without having them, suggesting them to do a party and take more time to participate in that. So what are other ways we can help customers see value? Well, if they're purchasing from you on a fairly regular basis, we're going to have some customers that purchase monthly. Maybe it's a whiff box, especially if you can think of some customers right now that purchase that on a pretty regular basis, whether they're local to you or not. Or if you have customers that purchase laundry on a semi-regular basis, maybe you have customers that have wax that they like to get every month, whether that's just purchasing something small like the scent of the month or something from the edit. These are all things where they're purchasing regularly enough, if it's monthly, bi-monthly, or tri-monthly, it's absolutely worth asking them if they want to take advantage of some of the discounts. I don't often talk about what it's going to cost the customer because in most cases, almost all cases for me, it's actually cheaper for the customer to use Club or to purchase their products through Club. The only time it doesn't make sense is if they're purchasing like a warmer or a buddy or something of that nature. But basically anything that's consumable, even light bulbs or, the cotton cleanups and stuff, those things can be purchased through Club. And it's a very, very minimum amount in order to unlock that 10% discount. They only have to spend $30. So you figure the average order with Scentsy is higher than that. I think it's 50. I think it's 50 PRV. So if the average if the average order is 50, then that means that automatically they're going to save money by purchasing through Club. And then of course we have things like Always Get My Bar, which you guys may be familiar with that. By a show of hands, how many of you are familiar with Always Get My Bar? I mean, if you're familiar with Club, you probably know, but okay. So for those of you that don't, Always Get My Bar is a special feature built within the Scentsy Club program that allows a customer to lock in a favorite fragrance so that if Scentsy were to ever retire that fragrance, making it unavailable for purchase to the regular public, this person who has added it to their Scentsy Club subscription will lock that favorite fragrance in forever. So that is something that I think is pretty unique because it actually keeps a lot of people in the program because they know that if they skip too many months or if they let it lapse, they can lose those bars. So it's definitely an incentive for them to keep their favorite fragrances locked in, which is great. And again, something else that's building value. So what I like to do is I often try to create no-brainer scenarios. That's what I call them. When I'm talking to a customer and following up with them, I'll say something like, hey, I'm putting in an order soon. Is there something I can get you? Now, this is assuming obviously the customer isn't already a club customer. And they'll usually tell me what it is they want. And it's often, I don't know about you guys, maybe you can drop it in the chat or by a show of hands, how many of your customers are buying wax mostly? Like when they're reordering, it's mostly wax. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Same for me. Wax, light bulbs, stuff of that nature. So these are things that can go in club. So what I'll do is I'll create a cart. The only time that I think that it makes sense to purchase it for the customer versus having them add it to club is if they're local and the person is ordering as part of like a bulk order. But the caveat to that is that they have to wait until you have enough orders to put in for a bulk order in order to get their products. With Scentsy Club, they're getting reduced shipping, but most often, the discounts they're getting inside of Club offsets what they would pay in shipping. But the nice thing is getting shipped right to their house. So not that they're cutting you out, you absolutely still get commission for that, but they get the convenience of ordering what they want, getting a discount, it getting shipped to their house. They don't have to wait for you to have a bulk order going and making it convenient for them. They set it up on whatever schedule they want. They can do monthly, bi-monthly, or tri-monthly, and it just gets shipped right to them. Some people value convenience. Some people value getting a cheaper discount, and maybe that is getting a reduced shipping from you. I know for me, a lot of my customers are not local. I've moved a lot over the years with my Scentsy business. So some of my customers that don't live near me, going Scentsy Club is the only thing that makes sense, especially for products that they love. And if they're traveling or they're away, they can choose to skip their subscription. If they don't have an Always Get My Bar in there, they can absolutely do that. So it's very flexible. They can cancel at any time. There's no penalty. It's as simple as logging into their account, hitting skip or hitting cancel. No penalties, no extra fees required or anything like that. I'm just going to check the chat really quick, make sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay, I'm not. Again, if you guys have any questions or something you want to share regarding Club, please feel free. But otherwise, from that, I'll keep going. Okay, so I create no-brainer scenarios. I remember once having a customer that wanted to order some dryer discs, and of course, she's not local to me. So I was doing the math, and she could pay $10 in shipping plus get pay for her dryer disc, but she wanted enough that I was able to unlock 10% off, and she got a discount on shipping. Now, she could have just purchased those dryer discs one time, and that would have been fine. I would have appreciated that. But now as a club customer, we set it up so that she gets 4 boxes of dryer discs, I think, every 3 months. So I turned what could have potentially just been one sale or one order one time into a recurring revenue stream, because now she's been, oh my goodness, that customer in particular has been in Club for now like 3 years. And I regularly follow up and just check in. Hey, how are you enjoying your dryer disc? Do you want me to swap anything out? Do you want me to add anything? She said, no, everything's good. This is the perfect amount that I need. I like that I don't have to think about it. Perfect. So you're still providing a level of service, but now that customer that may have purchased dryer disc one time is now, now it's part of their laundry routine and she gets her stuff on a regular basis. Now, what would have been one order has now turned into, in 3 years, 3 times, 4 times a year, it's like 12 orders now that she's had 12 club subscriptions bill, which is now more, recurring revenue and PRV for me that I might not have otherwise had if I just simply took her order. So from there, thinking about, I'm just looking down at my notes in case anyone's wondering, but over here in my notes, I wrote down that, this time of year, yeah, I already mentioned it. People are, parties are a sluggish time. People are not thinking about that because they're traveling. So again, this is one of those things that they can absolutely participate in. You can get them put on there. And again, they don't have to think about it. Uh, Now, one thing that I would do too in regards to that is you might think if the person is away or they're not thinking about maybe purchasing wax for their home if they're not there. But one thing that you can do is pivot some of your marketing to focus on travel-friendly items. So things that someone can take with them. So if they're flying, maybe that's a scent pack, or maybe they grab one of the the Scentsy airs that they can put in the wall, or maybe it's in their camper. They might have hand soap for their camper, or anything like that. Room sprays are TSA friendly, so you can absolutely throw them in your suitcase and spritz a bathroom or wherever you're going to be. A lot of these things people don't often think about, but they can absolutely have it set up to bill them whenever they want, and they can have those products on the go, ready to go. They can also go in and change their shipping address at any time. So if they know they have a Scentsy Club subscription that's getting ready to bill, and maybe they're visiting family out of state or out of the country, whatever. Well, if they're out of the country, that wouldn't work because it wouldn't be able to ship out of the country. So X that, pretend I didn't say that. But if they're out of state, you could have it shipped to the address where you're staying. It's as simple as that. It's a couple clicks. It's no problem. So I'm just looking over here at the chat. I did get a couple questions. So Kathy asked, do you set up and manage the club for them? That's a great question. Sometimes. That's sometimes. I don't encourage that you do it for them for a couple of reasons. One, that can be very time consuming for you as your club customer base grows, especially if like you're managing payments or swapping, between frequencies of the month, but also you're the one doing all the managing of it. So when that happens, they're not getting to see the potential of what their club subscription could be. So one thing that Scentsy does is they show the customer when they add things, how close they are to the next tier of reward. So if you go in and someone says, can you just set me up a club and order me a whiff box? I want to get a whiff box every month. Yeah, sure, no problem. So they'll see, or you'll see that they'll get a 10% discount, but they don't see that. And then as there's other things, they'll say you're $30 away from a half price item, because that's another reward perk that's built within Club. But if you're the one managing it, the customer never sees that. So encouraging them to go in and create their own account and set it up leaves less margin for error, number one. But number two is that they'll see for themselves, and then they might add more stuff. So if initially they want a whiff box, you send them the link, they set it up themselves, but then they see, oh, I'm $20 or $30 away from getting a half price item. You'd be surprised how the psychology works. And then they see the discount on shipping. They might go, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll throw in a fragrance flower this month. I've been wanting to try those. Oh, you know what? Maybe my mom would like some stuff. Let me see if she wants to jump in on my club subscription with me so she can get 10% off. So you'd be surprised. If someone is not super computer savvy, I do have the odd customer here and there that asks me to either update their credit card for them, or I actually have one, because of the way they set up their clubs, I have to like flip their subscription so that they don't get billed for both in the same month. And it was initially how they set it up, but the only way to ensure that they don't lose their bars is if I go in and change one to monthly and one back to tri-monthly. It's kind of confusing, but I do that as a customer service thing for them, and they appreciate that. So that kind of thing is fine, but they can absolutely log in and manage their own. I hope that answered your question, Kathy, wherever you are. Debbie asked, are Spark sessions every Wednesday night? That is a good question. I am not 100% sure on that. I know that when I was asked to speak this evening, or when I was asked to speak on this date, this time slot was already set up. So I'm thinking that might be the case. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but I would have to revert back to maybe Teresa. I know it's usually based on who's available. Times might have to get changed just depending. But these Spark sessions happen. I think they're happening still every day. So if your upline superstar director or director, whoever's sharing them to your team page or emailing them out, they should be listed somewhere in that. But if you ever miss them, we have a replay link. So you can go to you can click that YouTube link and go back and watch any of these recordings. So yeah, I was talking about that. I wanted to
Thank you, Emily.
Oh, no problem, Debbie. I hope that helped. Sorry, it wasn't more helpful, but okay. So the last thing I wanted to share was about how to support your teams. How many people here on the call tonight have a team that they're either building or they would like to see their teams be more involved in club? Oh, Kathy, yes, perfect. Okay, so here's some ways that you can encourage your team. One thing is that you need to talk about it. And you need to talk about it frequently. Sometimes we can get so sidetracked because we have so many different product offerings, or we have goals. You might be working with your team on parties or recruiting. And while those are all really important, we tend to focus on the thing that we talk about the most. So if you want to set a goal for yourself or for your team to grow your club subscribers by, say, 5, or maybe you want to add 10% of your business be club customers. Make sure it's something you're regularly talking about and learning about. And not that the program has evolved over time, but take time to learn the ins and outs of it. So if you're a leader, like Kathy had her hand raised, encourage your team to familiarize themselves with the platform itself. It's very hard to promote a program that you know nothing about. So the first step would be to maybe do some of your own trainings where, like, you can screen share, or even if you record a pre-recorded video and then post it to your team page or group chat, and then it's saved and you can send it to anybody who's new. So that's actually a great idea. But you want them to get familiar with how it looks on their PWS. And so they can't break the system. If they log into their personal website, create their own account, they don't have to follow through with purchasing anything, but they can play around setting up a cart, figuring out, okay, what products unlock, what discounts, what, the always get my bar program might be about. Because next to hosting a party, I mean, there's no other way to get products half price, but also you can't even get a whiff box as a host as half price, but you can through Club. So what a lot of people will do is they'll purchase their products they use all the time, like bars or their room sprays, whatever, and then they'll take advantage of the 50% off they've unlocked, and then they'll use that to buy a whiff box, which is an incredible value, because we know that the whiff box are already valued at more than what you pay for. But then when you get it even more discounted as a half price item, chef's kiss. Brooks said, my favorite is access to bricks. Yes, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, someone has to buy one brick. One, if I'm not mistaken, one brick unlocks 10%. So if they are any of the classics, and again, knowing which bricks are available on the platform is another big one, because there are some fragrances in bricks that you can't get any other way. So all the more reason to set up a club. One fragrance that comes to mind, because I don't think it's back, is Sea Salt Avocado. That fragrance is amazing. It's available as a brick. Anyone who loves that fragrance or a fragrance like it, they can unlock that through Scentsy Club and Scentsy Club alone. So again, encourage your team to familiarize themselves with it, play around with it, learn, how to set up a cart just for themselves so that if there is a need for them to support their customer, they know how to do that. Um, Again, I wrote down that they could start their own. Again, absolutely not required, but I do have my own, and I'll tell you why. Because I am frugal and I like to get as many discounts and rewards as I can. So although I'm not earning points, I do earn a commission off of what I purchase for myself, yes. But I like that I can get a 10% discount right off the top. And that's in addition to the commission that I'll earn on it. But I can unlock that 50% off item for myself. And I can load up on things that I need that when I'm like in between orders. So I set up one because I like to send thank you mail, and when I send thank you mail, I just use a simple A10 envelope, but I like to send a brochure of the monthly edit. I printed these ones because these are my US ones with a QR code. And then I include a scent circle and I just write a thank you message right on the cardstock. I pop it in this envelope with a stamp. That's it. I have to keep my postage very cheap because I'm in Canada and it's expensive to mail things here. So I just pop it in like that. And there was a point to this. Oh yeah. So the scent circles I order through Club because I get 10% off on them and I can get them in a jiff if I need them. Plus, for me, it's cheaper to get it through Club because I get a discount on shipping through Club that I don't get if I do a regular order. So one thing to remember about Club is that you can set up an order, have it bill right away, and then you can cancel it. So that's kind of fun too. So sometimes I do that. I just go, I need some things and I throw them into a club, set it for monthly, bill my first one right away, and then I'll cancel it for things that I need. But again, these are just ideas. Nothing says you have to do that, but again, it might be kind of like a hack to get some things that you need at a bit of a discount with cheaper shipping. And again, because you can cancel anytime, there's no penalty or anything like that. Um, the other thing is you want to show your team the value of the potential for that recurring PRV that I talked about. Using the example of, when we have things like Bring Back My Bar or monthly edits that are around for a limited time, we often think stock up while it's available. But I want to encourage you as a leader to think, how can we pivot our mindset to think, how can this be better long term if they use Club? Because inside of Club, a one-time stock up of a few $100s, especially during Bring Back My Bar, doesn't even match close to what could happen with a customer who has a Club subscription for years getting those waxes. So, or whatever it is that they're getting. But so like where Bring Back My Bar is concerned, or the monthly edits that are going to go away, if a person puts that in their Club, then they're going to be 5, 6, 10 years down the road still getting those fragrances. Mind you, maybe they're not buying 10 of them at once because they don't need to, because they have Club. But now you've had a customer reordering on a regular basis for, several years versus that one time they stocked up for a few $100. So you want to think this is Scentsy Club's like a long-term game. And by having a Club subscription or encouraging it or focusing on it, what it does is it frees up your mental load and your physical load even to focus on other areas of your business like leadership development or recruiting if that's a weakness or an area you want to focus on. Because in the back of your mind, okay, I've got 14 Club subscriptions billing this month. So I know I'm going to have my minimum 500,000, 2,000 PRV. I don't have to think about that. I don't have to focus on, hustling for follow-up to get orders all the time because I know I've got that figured out. I'm going to focus on trying to invite 2 or 3 people to join my team this month, rinse and repeat, and then from there go back. And again, when you find new customers, don't wait until they've ordered a couple times to introduce them to Club. Try to get them on Club right away. Earn them as a customer so they stay with you. That's customer retention. We want to not just get a customer once, we want to keep them forever. So Um, I I'll wrap this up now. We're just at about 30 minutes. I hope I explained this well. I hope that it was helpful to some of you that were on. Does anyone have any questions or something that they'd like to share regarding club? Maybe something that they've said or done that's helped encourage them to gain a club customer recently? Again, for me, it always goes back to how can I add value? And for me, it's usually finding a way to save people money or making their life more convenient. So again, if I only put in 1 to 2 orders every month and a person's waiting 2 weeks for me to put in a Scentsy order, but I can show them that they don't have to wait and they can get a discount on it, which offsets what they would pay in shipping. Maybe that's the route they want to go. They could also go in on it, split that club with a friend or with a family member, and then that way they both get the discount, split the shipping together. I try to offer ways that it makes sense for the customer, but also continues to make sure that I'm getting that recurring PRV that lasts for a long time. So most of my business now is primarily club. I have, oh, and here's the other thing. So if you have team members that get club customers, and then for whatever reason, maybe they go inactive or they decide to voluntarily cancel or whatever, those club customers roll up to you. So I've been with Scentsy a very long time. I have a fairly large team. And over the years of focusing on Scentsy Club myself and then having customer or team members that have gone back to either just being customers or have let their account go inactive, they no longer carry those clubbers, the club customers as their own customers. They go back to being a customer and they get the discounts still, but they get the points that they can either use or, like I was mentioning before, that they can use or apply those points to their existing subscription, and that's fine. But those customers roll up. So over the years, I've gotten more just by having those clubs roll up, and I have like 160 club customers. So in a given month, I might have 2 or 3 thousand PRV that just comes from club. That's not any events that I do. That's not any regular follow-up or my customer saying, hey, I need some extra, I need some stuff or whatever. So it's been very, very good for me in the sense that I don't always have to be scrambling to figure out where my PRV is coming from. And especially, we all live very busy lives. And anything that we can do to make getting sales that much easier, I don't know that there's a better program out there. And like I said, I love that it's free. There's built-in discounts. There's no barriers to entry. A person can totally choose how, when they get it, what products are in it. Again, the only caveat is that it's only consumable. So if they want to buy a buddy or a warmer, they have to purchase that with you. But again, you're just looking for ways to add value to that customer. And hopefully this summer, you guys can focus on building up those clubs so that even leading into we're going to be coming into another incentive pretty soon, like another trip earning incentive. Imagine having all those club customers billing every month and getting all those points towards the next trip. So just some ideas. I didn't see any other questions come through, but thank you, Debbie. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all of your time. I want to be respectful of it, so I won't keep you guys any longer. But I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I hope some of this information was helpful. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'm in most of the groups. You can message me on Facebook or reach out to Teresa, and encourage your teams to come back and watch the replay. And we hope to see you on the next training. But I appreciate you, and I hope you guys have a good night. Bye, everyone.